Hey everyone, welcome back once again to Creative for Christ's Work. We are here again, and today we're finally putting an end to Ruth's story. We're wrapping up with her. This is our last episode. We'll be moving on. We are literally almost done with this series. And I am just thankful for what I've been able to get out of this series. And with that said, let's go ahead and get right into the message. Before I shared on the resurrection the other week, I left off with Ruth by talking about a kinsman redeemer, and I would suggest you go check out that video if you have not seen it or heard of it. However, for today's episode, we're finishing up the storyline of Ruth, and today puts us in a situation where Ruth is having a conversation with Naomi, and Naomi speaks this to her, Ruth 3:1-8, New Living. One day, Naomi said to Ruth, "My daughter, it's time that I found a permanent home for you so that you will be provided for. Boaz is a close relative of ours, and he's been very kind by letting you gather grain with his young women. Tonight, he will be winnowing barley at the threshing floor. Now do as I tell you. Take a bath and put on perfume and dress in your nicest clothes. Then go to the threshing floor, but don't let Boaz see you until he has finished eating and drinking. Be sure to notice where he lies down. Then go and uncover his feet and lie down there. He will tell you what to do. I'll get to that in a minute." "I will do everything you say," Ruth replied. So she went down to the threshing floor that night and followed the instructions of her mother-in-law. After Boaz had finished eating and drinking, he was in good spirits, probably the wine. He lay down at the far end of the pile of grain and went to sleep. Then Ruth came quietly, uncovered his feet, and lay down. Around midnight, Boaz suddenly woke up and turned over. He was surprised to find a woman lying at his feet. Now, let's just slow down for just 1 second. Now, I know these instructions by Naomi sound very questionable and suspicious, or sus as this generation likes to say. I'll be very candid. When I first read this story and heard these words, I thought what happened in this situation was weird. It just does not sound like a very clean situation, a very clean thing for Ruth to do. And it doesn't sound right in reading it out loud in today's modern time. But that's just the point. What happened here was during a different time. It was normal to do something like this. So to get the full picture, let me keep reading. Verse 9. "Who are you?" he asked. "I am your servant Ruth," she replied. "Spread the corner of your covering over me, for you are my family redeemer." "The Lord bless you, my daughter," Boaz exclaimed. "You are showing even more family loyalty now than you did before, for you have not gone after a young man, whether rich or poor. Now don't worry about a thing, my daughter. I will do what is necessary, for everyone in town knows you are a virtuous woman. But while it is true that I am one of your family's redeemers, there is a man who is more closely related to you than I am. Stay here tonight, and in the morning I will talk to him. If he is willing to redeem you, very well. Let him marry you. But if he is not willing, then as surely as the Lord lives, I will redeem you myself. Now lie down here until morning." So Ruth lay at Boaz's feet until the morning, but she got up before it was light enough for people to recognize each other. For Boaz had said, "No one must know that a woman was here at the threshing floor." Then Boaz said to her, "Bring your cloak and spread it out." He measured 6 scoops of barley into the cloak and placed it on her back. Then he returned to town. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but basically what Ruth did by laying at Boaz's feet next to Boaz, it was done not as a sexual act or as something that was done sexually, but it implied Boaz as a kinsman redeemer, and as a kinsman redeemer, he should marry her. Yeah, basically, this is the equivalent of him putting a ring up and saying, "Will you marry me?" Yeah, that's basically what this is. And that's why she said, "Spread the corner of your covering. For me, you are my family redeemer." The King James says it differently, but this is what she said. The symbolism behind these verses are so great because it goes to show you how God uses symbolism in the Bible. Every little thing that is done with significance. That's why I love the Bible. There's always something to learn and be applied to my life personally. Yes, I may not understand it at first, but by allowing God to give me discernment to what I'm reading allows me to understand the material and apply it. I also love the Bible because even when I understand something, I can guarantee that I can go to like a service. I can understand from people who know more about the Bible than I do. There's always gonna be someone who knows more than you know. And don't be offended by it. That's actually a good thing, because the same knowledge they have, you can have it too. And you can do the same as well. By allowing the Spirit to open your eyes to the text that you are reading, it allows you to fully grasp what you're reading. We also have many biblical tools to deepen your study of the Bible, because we can't be biblically illiterate. And what does that mean? The world today is biblically illiterate, and that means the world that has no knowledge of the Bible whatsoever. They don't know in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. They don't know John 3:16, for God so loved the world. They don't know Adam and Eve, David and Goliath. They don't know none of these things. The Bible is not even a thought to them. They literally don't know. And it's not their fault. They just never even heard of it. And so we have Bible tools to help deepen your study of the Bible if you're a new Christian. So once you allow God to open your spiritual eyes to the Bible, I promise you there is nothing that can be hidden from you. Now back to this message. Now we know that Ruth and Boaz will be wed soon. But before Boaz marries her, he has to meet with 10 elders and a close relative to publicly announce to them the future of him and Ruth together, and the security of Naomi's property. Ruth 4:3-12. And Boaz said to the family redeemer, "You know Naomi, who came back from Moab. She is selling the land that belonged to our relative Elimelech." That guy. "I thought I should speak to you about it so that you can redeem it if you wish. If you want the land, then buy it here in the presence of these witnesses. But if you don't want the land, then buy it here in the presence of these witnesses. But if you don't want it, let me know right away, because I am next in line to redeem it after you." The man replied, "All right, I'll redeem it." Then Boaz told him, "Of course, you purchased the land from Naomi also requires that you marry Ruth, the Moabite widow. That way she can have children who can carry out her husband's name and keep the land in the family." "Then I can't redeem it," the family redeemer replied, "because this might endanger my own estate. You redeem the land. I cannot do it. I can't do it." And in those days, it was the custom of Israel for anyone transferring a right to remove his sandal and hand it to the other party. This publicly validated the transaction. So the other family redeemer drew off his sandal as he said to Boaz, "You buy the land." Then Boaz said to the crowd standing around, "You are witnesses that today I have bought from Naomi all the property of Elimelech, Chilion, and Mahlon, and with the land I have required Ruth, the Moabite widow of Mahlon, to be my wife. This way she can have a son to carry on the family name of her dead husband and to inherit the family property here in his hometown. You are all witnesses today." Then the elders and all the people standing in the gate replied, "We are witnesses. May the Lord make this woman who is coming into your home like Rachel and Leah, from whom all the nation of Israel descended. May you prosper in Ephrath and be famous in Bethlehem. And may the Lord give you descendants by this young woman, who will be like those our ancestor Perez, the son of Tamar in Judah." Therefore, and basically that's the verses. And after this, Ruth and Boaz were wed and married. They had a great marriage, got along well. Ruth and Naomi were fully redeemed, paid off fully, basically debt-free. And later on, Ruth and Boaz got together, and Ruth became pregnant and gave birth to a son named Obed. And the Bible records that Obed was the father of Jesse, who just so happened to be the father of the great King David. To add even greater effect, David was found in the genealogy of Jesus Christ. And basically, Ruth lost her family and she had to move. She lost her husband. But God redeemed her and she wound up in Jesus' family line. Without her, then Jesus would not have come to this earth. So why is Ruth's perseverance of loss and redemption so important? It's important because just like you and me are going to experience loss, and just like me and some of you, we've already experienced it. And we're all going to lose people special in our lives, and that's just what comes with life. Life comes with great things, but sometimes great things don't last forever. And I'm not just going to tell you that your life is going to be perfect and that you're never going to have to go through rough times. If I said that, I'd be a liar. And you could shut me off. You will lose some people. That's just the truth. Some have already lost some. Like I said, I've lost some. Whether it's a parent, sibling, friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, or other relative, people who you know and that you associate with, that you know regularly, that you see regularly. These people will not be in your lives forever. It's appointed unto a man once to die, but after that, the judgment. After a man dies, then they're going to have to go see God face to face. That's just the truth. And when people do leave, it's how you react that matters the most. Had Ruth been stuck in mourning for the majority of her life, and she just stayed sad and depressed, and she never moved on with life, never coped with the fact of her husband dying, that she could not just stay there. Had she did that, she would have never met Boaz. And she certainly would not have been in the family line of Jesus. Ruth lost her husband, and while yes, she mourned, and yes, that pain did not fully go away, she did not stay in mourning. She realized that God had a plan for her life, and she would not find out that plan by just staying in the grief she was in. You could expect a bright future if you simply just move on. That's the way it is. Whereas you can't expect a bright future if you just stay where you are. Ruth ending up in the genealogy and being remarried required her to make a move. You may have been through a lot: adoption, rejection, grief, or whatever it is. You have to make a move. The move may be rough, but if God is telling you to go, I promise you it is worth it. Because wherever God is taking you, God's the one that's leading you. And God wouldn't just lead you anywhere where you're just going to struggle, and God's not just going to lead you anywhere where He's not sure that you'll be able to persevere. So my message to whoever is listening is, do not stay in tough situations. Get up and move when God tells you to move. And then also, I think another thing to recognize too is how Ruth, she gave honor to her elder. She gave honor to her mother-in-law, Naomi. Ruth did this with Naomi, and as a youth, we need to understand that you get a blessing from honoring those who have authority over you. It doesn't matter how old they are, or what age limit they're at. It doesn't matter. The Bible says honor your father and mother, and just give honor and respect to those who are over you. And even if it's not mother and father, anyone that has authority over you, God says when you obey them, you're blessed. And that's the whole thing. The youth, people in this day, they want to be blessed, but they can't seem to honor those who have control over them. So when you give honor to those that have control over you, that's where you can get the true blessings. Because so many people think they gotta work hard, and yeah, you gotta work hard and do all these different stuff, but sometimes the simple blessings just come by doing the simple stuff. And so we can't forget that she served her mother-in-law. And so my message to you is, don't forget the elders, and don't forget the people that have dominion over you. Give honor and respect to those. And remember, don't stay in grief. Don't stay where you are. It's like a car. When you're trying to get to the destination that you're trying to get to, where the GPS is trying to get you there, you gotta follow the directions and go. You can't just be making pit stops the whole time, just stopping. You gotta go. And even when you do run out of gas sometimes, that happens. You just get stuck on the side of the road. You need to fill up. And I believe as spiritual cars, we need to fill up in God. We need to fill up in His Word, fill up in His Spirit. And we can move on with life. And yeah, we are still going to have to run out of gas, and we're still going to need to fill up. But we just got to fill up. We got to fill up. Because that's just the way it is. So basically, this was Ruth's story. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from Ruth's story. And thank you for listening.